I'm Kylie Brown, and this is the holiday edition of 489 News. Throughout December, Hays High's National Honor Society has been working on their Holiday Help project. Here's Cassie Quimby with more on this event.
The holiday season is a time to give back and to help others, and that's exactly what the Hays High chapter of National Honor Society is doing. Through their Holiday Help project, 10 families from Hays are given a better Christmas this year. I talked to NHS sponsor Jessica Pugh about this project.
National Honor Society has been involved with our Hays High Holiday Help program, and it is where the administration and the counselors come up with around 10 families that National Honor Society decides to adopt. And once that adoption has been made, surveys go out to the families, and they fill out a want and a need list. And of the needs, it's of sizes of clothes, it's of shoe sizes, of things that they need around the house. We've been very surprised. Lots of blankets, lots of household items are on there for needs. And so our National Honor Society members, the students go out and they collect groceries and they bring those in. And we have obviously boxes of groceries that are being distributed, and then the group as a whole goes out, and on a Saturday morning, very early in the morning, we go out and we purchase presents so that they can have things under the tree. And through the gracious donations of businesses around town, of the Ministerial Alliance, of just the Hays High staff and community members of Hays, we were able to spend quite a bit of money on each student and family member in general. And this is our end result. We have packages and boxes of food that gets to go to each of the families.
Thanks to the generous sponsors, a plethora of donations, and the efforts of the National Honor Society students, 10 families will have a better Christmas. Reporting for 489 News, this has been Cassie Quimby.
And now here's Jake Deckant with the Tribe Sports Report.
Well, it may be cold outside, but things are heating up here at Hays High because, ladies and gentlemen, winter sports have begun. Let's start with the shootout results. The boys start off their season great with taking third at the Hays City Shootout. The player with the most points was senior Isaiah Nunnery, and he had 48. For the girls, junior Talon Cleveno scored 8 just in the first half of the third place game. The girls were behind most of the game, but narrowed down the point margin, losing only by 10 points to the Newton Eagles. The girls ended up taking fourth place. Both boys and girls picked up a win against Junction City this week. Senior Audra Schmeidler and freshman Maddie Hutchison both had 14 points for the girls. Senior Drew Young had 20 points, and senior Isaiah Nunnery had 15 points, making the boys' record 5-1 and the girls' record 3-3. Wrestlers are also starting off their season strong at the Campus Invitational, with Conrad Viner taking first, Austin Dale taking second, and Braden Delzite also taking second. Boys swimming took 6th at the Wichita South meet on December 11th. The 200 free relay team took 5th at the meet. The seniors leading the team are Hunter Perryman, Scott Ring, Ben Morley, and Jordan Voss. Keep working hard, athletes. Make sure you keep those grades up. Good luck on the rest of your season, and this has been Jake Deckant for 489 News.
In this month's edition of Let's Talk About That, Jacob Alexander talks about the holidays.
Guys, welcome back to Let's Talk About That. Today, we are talking about the month of December, and you know what that means. It's time for Christmas. Oh yes, Christmas, one of my favorite holidays ever. And did you know 9 out of 10 people in America say that they celebrate Christmas? But that makes you wonder, what do the other 10% in America celebrate? Hanukkah, you've probably heard of it. It's a Jewish holiday celebrated in the month of December. It revolves around the 9-branch menorah and spans 8 days. On each of the nights, one of the family members lights one of the candles on the menorah with the helper candle. Ramadan, this is an entire month celebrated by the Muslim faith, and in fact, it's an entire month of fasting, introspection, and prayer. You're not supposed to eat from sunrise to sunset, and you're not supposed to partake in anything that is lewd. The end of Ramadan is celebrated by a 3-day festival, which is considered one of Islam's major holidays. Kwanzaa, you've probably heard of it. It is established in 1966 by a professor from California State University after the Watts riots in Los Angeles. Celebrations usually include song, dance, African drum, and a traditional large meal at the end of the night. After the meal has concluded, they choose a child from the family to light a candle on the Kinara. And this celebration usually concludes on Friday, January the 1st. The New Year's. If you live in Canada, Australia, or Great Britain, you might be celebrating Boxing Day on the 26th of December. And no, it's not what you think. You don't run out in the streets and start hitting people. It's actually quite the opposite. It was established in Great Britain as a holiday to give to the poor and needy. And nowadays it's celebrated with family and friends, and often you have charitable acts. Whether you celebrate Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Boxing Day, or Ramadan, we here at 489 News wish you a happy holidays.
Last winter, we saw no snow days here in Hays. This year, we've already seen one. 489 News producer Brooks Barber shares his winter forecast with us from his website, Cirrus Weather.
The winter 2015-16 season looks like it'll shape up to be an interesting one for the Kansas area, and I've taken a look at the various factors that will be going into what we see this winter. One of the more significant ones is the strong El Nino, which is actually the second strongest since they've been keeping record. During the typical strong El Nino, we'll see warmer than average water temperatures off the coast of South Africa and to the Central Pacific. Back home, this will usually promote a setup favoring warmer and drier conditions over the northern tier of the United States, with cooler and wetter conditions in the south. Another factor this winter is the Arctic Oscillation, or AO for short, which is in a positive phase for this winter. During a positive AO, we generally will experience warmer stretches because the bitter cold remains up north near the Arctic. A negative phase will bring prolonged stretches of very cold conditions to the eastern 2/3 of the U.S., which is what we experienced last year. With all of that said, the question of what this winter will bring still remains. Considering these factors and various others, I expect we'll lean towards warmer than average overall this winter for temperatures across the Sunflower State. And sure, maybe we'll be a little closer to average in western and southern portions of Kansas. This is not to say we will not have colder periods of time, but the periods of time that we do have colder weather will be less prolonged than in recent years. And overall, by the time March rolls around, the warmer days will outweigh the colder days. Coinciding with the warmer weather this winter will be above average precipitation across the central U.S. This is good news for us, as we all know just how dry it has been. We've seen some improvements on the drought since this past summer in Kansas, and I expect we will continue to see improving conditions over the next few months. While it's a good thing it's supposed to be wetter than average this winter, that's not so good when it gets cold enough for wintry precipitation to develop. Already in November, we have seen one nasty ice storm move through the state. That was back around Thanksgiving, and it lasted for nearly a week, bringing crippling ice accumulations to parts of Kansas and Oklahoma. Considering what we have already seen and how we expect to see the pattern shape up, there is a higher than average risk for ice storms for all of Kansas and much of our region. We'll likely see at least one, if not more, additional big ice storms this winter. Now I get to inform you on my favorite part of this forecast, the snowfall. I'm thinking we're going to be pretty busy from mid-November into the springtime months, with storm after storm thanks to an active storm track. The entire state should see at least average snowfall, with a good portion seeing above to well above average. The highest snowfall total should be out in northwest Kansas, in areas that have already seen as much as 20 inches of snow in November alone. Here you can see the average annual snowfall for the entire state. In Hays, we are in the 12 to 18 inch range, and our exact average is right around 18 inches per year. As for my official projection for Hays, I expect to see the Ellis County area to receive above average snowfall much like the rest of the state, with a grand total somewhere between 20 and 30 inches, give or take a few. In conclusion, this winter looks like it's going to shape up to be an interesting one, and it's going to be interesting to see how it exactly pans out, not only in Hays and Kansas, but across the entire country. As for snow days, as long as the storms time out right and in our favor, I think we will surely see a few here in Hays in January and February. To see my complete nationwide forecast for the upcoming winter and to keep up with the latest weather headlines for the state of Kansas, head on over to my website at SiriusWX.net. Reporting from downtown Hays, this is Brooks Barber for 489 News.
For the latest headlines from around Hays High in the district, go to our website, 489news.com, and you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at 489news. Thanks for watching, have a Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year.
You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all?
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. And if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows.
Like a light bulb, all of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names like Pinocchio.
They never let poor Rudolph play in any reindeer games like Monopoly. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say,
Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight?
and all the reindeer loved him. He shouted out with glee, yippee!
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history.